So currently what happens on the app, if I'm running the backend, is that I'm going to ask for the room key here. And so what I want to do for that is I want to say try, and then a catch, and then in my service, I want to do a, and we want to say a new method down here called task of a check room auth check. What am I calling it? Check auth to locked room, and it's going to be a string for the room code and then a string for the room ID. Now, this one should probably be a bool. What I want to do is using my var data access layer equals new application DB context. Hey, Fallen Hope, good morning. I was hoping you would be coming out today. And so in this one, like that. Oh, why? This is just an interface. Derp, 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 derp. Okay. So we're going to do a check auth to locked room asynchronous of my room key and my room ID. As a GUID. I'm going to say if we await this and it's true, then I'm going to do a clients.caller.send asynchronous, and it's going to be a response auth to locked room fail. Else we're going to do this one. And this one's going to be a await clients caller dot succeed. Oh, no one's voting out there today. Okay. So now when I look at my service for this, I need to implement the new method. Here. And in this one, we're going to do a using var data access layer equals new application DB context. Sorry, this is a CTX or context. And so a Fallen Hope, as soon as I get this app up, I'm going to go back into Hungry Hungry Zombies. I think we're going to fix some of the things in it, and then we should implement some rewards for the flowers, and then create a second game. So in this, we're going to do a if my await context dot rooms dot any asynchronous as where the s dot id is equal to room ID. And then up here we want to say var encoded room equals a encoding dot UTF-8 dot 2 base. No. I'm sorry, it's convert dot I want the UTF-8. What is it? I'm like losing my mind here. Hold on. Get bytes. So system.text.encoding.utf8.get bytes of the room code. And then this one is going to be and my dot room code is equal to my encoded room. So if there are any where that's the case, then we want to do this. This one's brutal. Better hope there's an O. Oh, thank God. And we want this to be a system.convert.from to base 64 string, and that's going to be my bytes. That looks good. Then we're going to return true. So this, I could just do a return this. Easy enough. So now, there is no, oh, no, that's right. In the hub, though, we need to respond with these. So if I look in my hub con service, I need to have two of these, one called Langdon. Is that a word? I thought that was a name. Let me know if you guys want to play again. This one is not a receive currency room. It is a response auth to locked room succeed. And a response locked room fail. And I want to pass in here my room. So we're going to do a var room equals await my service dot read room asynchronously of my room ID. And we're going to pass in an iRoom into this in either case. And we're going to call this thing here a auth to locked room succeed. And this one is fail. And then down here we need the same thing, which is get response, get, what did I just call it? Auth to locked room, get auth to locked room succeed, and then auth to locked room fail. Now, maybe I should be able to do this in one object. So, instead of this, let me make a response here. And I'm going to say that this is a auth to locked room response. And I'm going to add in here a public enum called a auth to locked room response type. And it's going to say success, and it's going to say fail. We'll move that over to my enums in my domain library. And we'll add that in again here. As a response. Like that. There's no data in this response. So we don't need this. Okay. So instead we can do a clients.caller.send asynchronous response auth to locked room. And the object I want to send is a new auth to locked room response, which when we await this thing, if it is true, then I want to return a it's going to be my, this one is equal to, and then if I get this, then if it's true, I want to do a response type of a success, otherwise a response type of fail. Easy enough. So this is the method that I'm going to be invoking. Get auth to locked room, which passes in a type called a interface I auth to locked room response, which is just going to have a auth to locked room response type, which is a number. And then I need to have something in my globals for this, which I'll do in a little bit. So this is a I auth to locked room response as a auth to locked room response, which will be up here as a auth to locked room response, which is an I auth to locked room. Hello, Necromancer Valho, welcome back. Would you like to play some Hungry Hungry Zombies? Let me know, I can start it up for you. Auth to locked room response is the room. No. This is a I auth to locked room response called a response. I was going to move this to the bottom. Like that. Right here. Receipt get auth to locked room. So now back in here I should have a auth to locked room response, which is a subscription. And here I need to do one of these and unsubscribe it. And then here, this dot auth to locked room is equal to this dot hub service dot get auth to locked room dot subscribe of my auth to locked room response, which is, and let's clean this one up and this one up, and then this one up and this one up. And it's going to be one of those, and all I want to do here is if my auth to locked room response dot auth to locked response type is equal to, and then I need to change this here once I put it in my globals, and I want to do one thing, else I want to do another. So if it's the right one, then we want to navigate to it. What does this include? It should say a response type and a room DTO called a room. And then on this side, I need to add a room, which is an iRoom. And we want to pass in the room equals room. And I'm going to change this to be a VM. Like that. Then we want to go to this room code. Else we want to do a message here. So my toaster service which is going to be a toaster service, and then here it's going to be a this.toaster_service.error. You were not authorized into the room and then we wanted to add here the auth to locked room response type .room code. And this is going to say incorrect room key. And then we'll fix this one. Control-Alt-F. I thought it was Control-Alt-F or G, or what was it, to auto-format. Come on, what was that? Hey, Robert Tables, how are you doing? Welcome to the channel. If you have any questions what I'm working on, please don't hesitate to pop them into the chat. We want the keystroke for Visual Studio Code to auto-format. It's Control-Shift, Alt-Control-F. So it's unhappy with me because of that, so whatever. And then I need to change something on my globals, so just a moment while I change that. Hey there, everybody. How are you doing? Robert Tables, Rambling Geek. In case you guys don't know me, I'm Rob, streaming during the week, a little bit during the weekend. We're working on OpenDJRadio. This thing is going to be going live either today or tomorrow. Right now, I'm making sure that the room lockings on it are working successfully. So if you have any questions when I'm working on, please don't hesitate to put them into the chat. Thanks so much, and appreciate the support. If I look at the numerator, we can cheat just a little bit and say that fail is 1, so if it's 0. Okay? And then we'll go back in and fix that. That should do it. So now when I look at the room and I log out and I log in, you said Control-Alt-F, but you press Shift. At least that's how it looked. I should have said Shift, sorry. Okay? It joined me into the room and it brought in my first song from my playlist. If I look at the rooms here, I can see that it's locked. I'll try to enter the room here and it'll be fake. I have to add a enter command here, so let me add that notepad. Add enter to as accept into modal on join room locked. That's just very, very fast. And we're going to do that. You are not authorized into the room, but if I get it correctly, now, the reason for that is in my rooms component, there's two parts. On the back end, when I'm first saving the room key, so where I have my create application user room, not there, here update, where I have my room key, this needs to be var encoded room key is equal to encoding dot UTF-8 dot from string or something like that. Get string from the, which we're going to convert here to from base, no, we want to do a to base 64 encoded. And we need to pass in here the get bytes of the request room key. So this way it's my encoded room key, and I'm not storing the database, I'm not storing the key as a value in the database. Now it's encoded. Glass and Glitter. Hey there, how's it going? I'm watching with my dad, who is also interested in coding. That's awesome. How are you guys doing today? Welcome to the channel. Currently what I'm working on is I'm adding in some validation right now to make sure that we have individual rooms that people can log into, and in that it's playing music in them. So you have the ability to lock the room so that other people cannot come into it. And then you have to set a room code if you want to let people in. And so the room code is what I'm validating here. I don't want to store a room code as a string in the database, because that would be, it's compromising if you look in there and you can just see kind of passwords. So the fastest way to do that is I'm encoding it into a base 64 string, where I have to first convert it into UTF-8 before I can do that. So that's what I was doing here. And then when I run the backend again, I'll need to update it. So if I look at my account here, I'll need to log out and log in. If I look at my account here, there it is. My room code is currently set to Rob, and I've changed this to Glass and Glitter. Why not? And I'll copy that to my keyboard and I'll save it. And then if I look at rooms, here you can see it's locked. I should be able to try to get in here, and I'll say hello world, and it should not let me in. Right now it's checking my auth here, which my room code is hello world. It gets it as an encoded string and tries to pass it, and it's going to be false. So it says you are not authorized. But if I put the correct room code in, it should, oh, it didn't. Why is that? Why didn't it work? Oh. Because now, when I'm receiving my room, anywhere I'm receiving the room, it needs to be a, so like for example, if I look at my application user, where I'm receiving this room, now this needs to be mapped so that when I see, I don't really necessarily want to do this because I'm going to have to make a lot of modifications for it. Oh. Well, the problem is I have to make a lot of modifications because I have a lot of this automated stuff which is pulling in a room, and now it has the encoded value of the room key, and I don't really care about exposing that. When do I want to expose a room key? If I look at the libraries for a room key is here on a DTO, so I don't want it there. But a room key on a room should be fine, like that. So then when I'm retrieving the rooms, which is in the hub called request rooms here. This is good. It reads all of the rooms, which does not include that DTO, and then here, this is the room, and now I want to do room. I need to convert it. So it's a var decoded room code is equal to my encoding dot. Hey there, Death by Code. How are you doing? Welcome to the channel. Encoding, which is system.text dot, and this should be like a UTF-8 dot get bytes or something of my room dot room code, and then I want to convert that to a from base 64 string, which is like this, and it's a get string from my bytes of that. Okay, and now I should be able to do room dot room code equals decoded room code. And then we're going to receive it. So this is not the default room. If it's the default room, you're automatically going to get it. That's right. And here we're going to do room dot room code is equal to string dot empty. Okay, easy enough. So now when I look at it, I have to run the back end. It joins, log out, log in. Okay, now my room key doesn't exist, so I'll do a hello world and I'll submit it. And I'll go back here to my home and I'll look at my account. Now it's still doing it. Because when it's loading account, username 2, where is it loading account? nginit request application user information, which is request application user information, which is here. This is your application user room connection. And if I look in this one, it should have a room DTO. So that's fine. Project is almost done. That's correct. This is the application user room, which has a room DTO in it. So I want to do a we want to say it's a var decoded text equals your application user room dot room key. Oh, is that what I did? This needs to be a room key. And this is called a room key. Encoded room key. Okay. And then in the hub where I was doing request room, I did this on the decoded room key. And then this is room key. My bad. Necrovance or Velho said, did you create all of this by yourself? Yeah, I've done this over the last 14 days. All the videos are up on youtube.pixelhorsevideos.com. So this one doesn't have a room key or application user, right? Perfect. That's perfect. Okay. Now it should work fine. Log out. Log in. We'll fix all of the visuals tomorrow. Okay. It logged me in, everything worked. If I look here at my playlists, it worked. My purchasable items worked. My rooms. I want to look at my account here. And I want to say that my room key is hello world, all lowercase. And I'll submit it. Now, looks like that it didn't take. So what's going on here? In my request rooms, here, my room connection doesn't have anything about the room, right? It doesn't, it's just a DTO. The next one is the user room, which contains a DTO of the room, which doesn't contain a room key. And then you receive your application user. So that's a problem. It's that when we're getting this user, this needs to be a room VM. Okay, what does that do? Everything else looks good. We rebuild it. Discord is public. Psychotronic, how are you doing? Welcome to the channel. If you have any questions, please pop them into the chat. We've got an active and supportive community. Thank you for being a part. Glass and Glitter, are you still out there? Try this game out. Okay. So now when I do this again, and I request my user, I log out, I log in. That's good. Look at the account. It's going to get my user here, which gets the VM, and now I think my room should be encoded, and it is. So that's good. We retrieved it successfully. So back here, let's fix it. So when we do this, I need to do my var decoded room key is equal to your encoding dot UTF-8 dot, and then this is a convert dot from base 64 string. We want to pass in this UTF-8 dot get bytes of my entity dot room key dot room key, like that. Am I faster than the computer right now? What's going on here? It's this way. Get string like that. Okay. And then this one we can assign right back to entity.room.room key. Run it again. Get your votes in, guys. You said count and Alexa counted to 10. So now when I look at this and I check it out again and I go back to account and I log out and I log in, there, the room key is right, hello world. So now when I try to connect here, if I say hello world, it joined me to the right channel. And if I tried to do it again and I use something different, it tells me I'm not authorized, finally. Okay, so we're good there. Let me make sure here that it goes the other direction. So when I do this one more time and I said test 1, and I submit the changes, and then I look at my rooms and I say test 1, it works. So the next one was in the modal. I wanted this modal here that I created, room key modal, to be that when we did this enter. So I want to say catch enter in Angular text box. And I actually already have this. If I look at my queue, my song search request, because it's where we do no. No problem. Okay. And we're doing it in the add to queue. You have it with a click event, but also in your search. Key up, enter. I'm not clicking on it, but typing into the Discord at. Oh, you would need to click on it. It's a redirect. It's this one. Enter the room key. On this, we want to do a Let me see, I want to do a mat dialog close in TypeScript. That didn't help me at all, because I want this to fire. So could I do something like ID equals confirm button modal, and then here, can I do a element dot document dot Can't I just type regular JavaScript into that? Get element by ID, which is called confirm button modal dot click. Okay, so can I just do a get dialog by ID. Close all is something that I can use. So I could do something here called a confirm button click. And then I can get rid of the class here, or the name that I added. And then I can add that to the TypeScript. And we'll do a this.dialogRef.close. So let's see if that works. Well, it didn't run any of the code when it was supposed to close it, so it's not assigning the data set value. So can I do that here as a this.data.room key is equal to this.room key. What about that? I waste my time, yes I do. How are you doing? Welcome back, Glass and Glitter. Good. So that works. So then I'm going to close this instance, which should fire over. Let's see, I'm subscribing that in my rooms, right? And then you're closing it here. And I want to do a console.log of my result. So instead of this on my I want to fire this and say alert has been closed, and then I want to do a console.log of my result. And then I thought it was supposed to log the result. Let's try it again. Okay, good. And now if I try this again and I said hello world, says that it's undefined because you never assigned it. Oh, I get it. I get it. So what you have to do is here we need to do a this.data.room key is equal to room key. Now it should work. Still no good. But it's only ever used in this one instance, so what I'm going to do is, where I'm calling this from rooms, because I can't load it. Let's see, is there a way to load it? Mat dialog module. Mat dialog ref. Not seeing any after closed, after open. Close the dialog. Optional result to return to the dialog opener. Let's try that. Oh, what a weird word this is. All right, now it's working. Loving it. Oh, I think so. Good. What? Try that again. Didn't do anything here. To change that. That's weird. That's weird. I don't know what it's doing there. I haven't seen this yet. That's fine. So it's failing when it's trying to load the user or something. In my room on connected, we're going to step through it. I've got everything. It should connect here to my receive room information. And since it is the room owner, it should dequeue a song. And it did. And then it should play it and send it over. I am so confused with what's happening. I just had 2 sessions open. So that is something we need to note. Don't allow 2 connections to the same room for the same user. Because otherwise, we just saw what happened, where if we came into this room again, it's going to send it across the pipe twice and lock itself up. So it actually needs to disconnect the other one. The server cost has to be updated. Okay, let me do that. Donation, it's goals, donation goals. Like that. And then if I wanted to look at my donation checker, is there a way that I can clear it? Yay, the zombie gets the fruit. You can see what your reward is like this. No, it doesn't look like I can. Okay, no worries. So we got the new one up there though. So now, I can put the room key in. Doesn't look like it asked me for it. So if I go back here, you can enable that stuff again and then enable that stuff. Like that. So in Angular, is there a way to set focus? We want the CLI version. Edit name, name, placeholder name, view child name. We'll just try it real quick here. So we'll add in here a @view child called room key, which is a, call it room key field, just like that, which will be an element ref. And then up here, I need to add a room key. And then on a init, we want to do this dot room key dot native element dot focus. Try that. It wanted to, but then it didn't. So what is the directive here that we want to? Angular CLI ng-init after load. I want to do a, isn't there like an after load ng thing? Come on, somebody knows this. You know which one has it? Is the Angular X YouTube GitHub. It's not that one. It's not that one. Not that one. Content init. ng after content init. And I can do this as a after content init, like that. And now I can get rid of my init. No. No. So we can just remove this since that doesn't work at all. Okay. What a bummer. It's okay, it's not the end of the world. So we have that working, we have the lock working, I have the room not allowing requests working, I have it is it public working. So now what I can do is I can stop my ng serve, and then I can stop. You guys want to play some more Hungry Zombies? I can stop this OpenDJRadio, and what I want to do is open up the back end here. And when I look at my board, we just completed the